to look at this bill with an open mind. Thank you.
I call the honourable member Darian Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I think this is probably the sixth or seventh time that since I've been in Parliament that I've spoken on a Easter shop trading bill, and I think it's probably up to 10th or 11th time that we've had a members' bill endeavouring to take away the right of workers not to work on Easter Sunday, and in fact this also includes Easter Friday. I was going to make some comments about my appreciation of the fact that it's Members' Day today and members have a right to bring bills to the Parliament and represent the things that they're interested in, constituents are interested in and that I want to see. But however, having heard the last few comments from the member, I'm not inclined to be so generous and the disgraceful contributions from the government on Phil Twyford's bill, I think, has made me feel less generous about it. I am voting against this bill, Mr. Speaker. I've been very interested as I followed the journey of Jackie Dean's bill from the time it was first pulled out of the ballot. We have in way back in September the 8th, 2010, Easter trading bill postponed. And so Jackie Dean said she will do more work on her Easter bill before it goes to Parliament. I want to do some work on the area of worker protection. These protections are in existing legislation, but they weren't spelled out in the bill. Well, she hasn't done any work on that. She's just outlined some bottom lines, but clearly doesn't understand this issue of choice for workers to choose whether to work or not. Clearly has, and we have canvassed this issue time and again in these debates. An absolute right to refuse to work, Mr. Speaker. An absolute right to refuse to work when you're on a 90-day trial period, when you can get the sack for no reason and you don't have the right to challenge it. That is one reason why an absolute right will never work, because that government's laws already mean that somebody can be sacked for no reason. There's no penalties on that worker. Well, I would hope not. The law doesn't allow that now. And reasonable notice, again, is meaningless. So the member hasn't done very much work on the area of worker, well, no work on the area of worker protection, and can I say again, in previous bills, in the Commerce Select Committee, this area was canvassed in great detail when there were two members' bills. I think it was the former members' bill, actually, and also Steve Chadwick's bill. The area was canvassed in great detail, and yet at the end of it, there was no satisfaction as to being able to say to workers, you will not be forced to work on Easter Sunday as it was then, and now it's Easter Sunday and Easter Friday. And then on the 5th of April 2012, the member said that she was planning to withdraw Good Friday from the bill to make it more acceptable. Well, it's still here though. Oh, you've got a supplementary order paper?
Point of order, the honourable member Jackie Dean.
Yeah, point of order, Mr. Speaker, and this is probably not an order, but just to let you know that I have a supplementary order paper which would delete Good Friday from the bill.
Well, it's actually a debatable issue. The member should be. I call the honourable member Darian Fenton.
Okay, except that that's there, okay, but however, obviously there are some concerns from her fellow caucus members about Easter Friday, and I suspect there'll be the same ones there about Easter Sunday. But the thing that I found really interesting in the journey of this bill, the second time this member has tried to force workers to work on Easter Sunday, was the comment in the Southland Times on the 10th of April 2012, where she said, moves to liberalise Easter trading laws would not see workers being forced to turn up for work, but promoted economic growth. She said, the sooner the union accepts that and moves on, the better. What arrogance is that? What arrogance? The member raised religious concerns, said she's got respect for that, understands people's Christian views, but then on the other hand said people won't be forced to work on an Easter Sunday. Well, actually they are. Many workplaces, workers are forced to work on a Sunday. I spent years representing Pacific Island workers who were forced to go to work on Sunday, on White Sunday. They had no choice. The member doesn't understand how workplaces work. She said She respected religious objections. She obviously doesn't respect worker objections. She does not respect the right of workers to express a view, and she tells them, their union, that they should just get over it. Just get over it. Well, I mean, I just think that's incredible arrogance, and that would be, if for no other reason, Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't support the bill because of that comment. Now, I don't think that she has canvassed the workers' views in any way, shape or form, except to tell them to get over it. That's all that member's done. And their views are really important in this debate, Mr. Speaker, because they're the ones that are going to have to turn up to work. And let's remind ourselves that at the moment there are only 3.5 days in the whole of a year where workers, where shops are closed and workers don't have to turn up to work. Now, honestly, what sort of society have we become when we cannot cope without shopping for 3.5 days a year? Now, the member said, this will enable the shops in Wanaka and surrounds to open their business and make more money. The member should understand that it doesn't mean they make more money, and it doesn't mean more money spent. It's just spent in that area instead of someone else's area. It doesn't create more money by opening on it doesn't. It definitely doesn't. There's only so much money to go around, and in fact there's not much money to go around at the moment at all, Mr. Speaker. And so, you know, shops can trade, as I said, 51 out of 52 Sundays, every public holiday except Good Friday, Christmas Day and the morning of Anzac Day. And that's all that matters. It's all that matters to the member, Colin King, is the money. The money. So that government has become a government that cares about money over everything else, over Christian views, over family values, over workers' rights. And haven't we seen it? Aren't we seeing it in the policies that are coming through from this government? Tax cuts for the rich. Tax cuts for the rich. Immigration laws that are for people with barrow loads of money. Forget about people that aren't that well off. And this is another bill that attacks working people. It attacks families. It has a go at the things that we hold dear in this country, and one of the few times that workers get to choose to spend time with their family. And I mean, unfortunately, if this was, Colin King should show some more respect, thank you. Unless he's planning to take a call, in which case I'll give him heaps back. Unfortunately, there's nothing coming from this government, Mr. Speaker, that's going to improve the lives of workers and families. This is just more, if this bill gets any way through, if it unfortunately got through on its 11th try, why? I cannot believe, Mr. Speaker, that there are not more important things that we could be worrying about, that member could be worrying about. For example, did that member know that there's a hotel in Wanaka that's just fired all its workers and employed replacement workers from China? Does that member know about that? Does that member even care about that? Isn't that something she should be spending her time worrying about, instead of trying to take 1 or 2 of 3.5 days that people don't have to go to work, can spend time with their families, where people don't have to shop. They don't have to shop. They can shop the day before, the day in the middle and the day after. For goodness sake. Listen, Queen Margaret. 3.5 days a year. Don't be so arrogant. Who do you think you are? 3.5 days a year, and you're saying this is the 1950s. In the 1950s, no one had to work on a Saturday or Sunday. Oh dear, oh dear. See, aren't we seeing it all tonight? Aren't we seeing it all from those members? This bill, I hope no one votes for this bill. I hope it goes down as it deserves to do so.
There are 2 members who are interjecting on each other who don't have the floor, and that is not permitted. I call the Honourable Member Darian Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I just urge the House to vote against this bill again, as they have very sensibly in the past. It is a conscience vote. This is a time when members get to have a say according to their conscience. There are a number of reasons that the member has acknowledged that people oppose this bill. And that includes Christian views, it includes workers' rights, and it includes the very, very important time that we all want to see people spending their time with their families. And at least one of those reasons must be something to members like Maggie Barry, although maybe she comes from such a privileged background she doesn't even understand. Please vote against this bill.
Mr. Speaker.
I'll call the honourable member Louise Upston.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to support my